Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today as we dive into one of the most intriguing topics in modern mysticism and prophecy. In today's video, we're exploring the remarkable predictions of Edgar Cayce, often called the Sleeping Prophet. Cayce's readings about Earth changes, future cataclysms, and a hopeful new era have fascinated and inspired generations. What did he foresee for humanity? And how might his visions of the future hold lessons for us today? So, settle in as we journey through Edgar Cayce's end-time prophecy, a look into a world of profound transformation, where challenges pave the way for spiritual awakening and a brighter future. Let's get started. Before we dive into today's fascinating topic, we'd like to say that if you enjoy the video, you can support us by giving a super thanks. Your support really helps us bring more content like this to you. And, of course, don't forget to share the video with others who might find it interesting. Edgar Cayce, often referred to as the Sleeping Prophet, gave many readings in a trance-like state, including several focused on the future of the Earth and what he termed as Earth changes. These readings, conducted in the early to mid-20th century, contained predictions of geological transformations on a dramatic scale, with earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, coastal flooding, and major shifts in landforms. Central to Cayce's vision was the belief that these cataclysmic changes would act as both a cleansing and a necessary prelude to a new spiritual era. Here's a deeper look into his most famous predictions about Earth changes, their interpretations, and what they might mean for humanity. Cayce frequently mentioned the vulnerability of the West Coast, particularly California. In his readings, he spoke of severe earthquakes that would not only impact California, but would have far-reaching effects across the Pacific region. According to Cayce, the tremors would be so severe that they would disrupt California's infrastructure, possibly leading to the submergence of parts of the coastline. He envisioned parts of cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco suffering catastrophic damage or even disappearing due to tectonic shifts and large-scale seismic activity. Cayce's warnings about California, known for its geological faults like the San Andreas, resonated with modern fears about the potential for a devastating earthquake in the area. Scientists understand that the West Coast is indeed prone to earthquakes, although the scale and timing of such events remain unpredictable. Cayce's followers interpret his warnings as a call for preparedness and awareness of the West Coast's unique geological risks. One of Cayce's most specific and startling predictions involved the Great Lakes. He suggested that a new channel would one day open from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico, drastically altering North America's landscape. This connection, he claimed, would be the result of seismic shifts and the reconfiguration of waterways, which would ultimately change the flow of rivers and open up new water channels. Interpreters of Cayce's work suggest that this change could result from earthquakes, land subsidence, or even gradual erosion. The idea that water bodies could be reshaped or expanded through seismic forces aligns with our knowledge that earthquakes, while rare in the Midwest, can have significant effects. For instance, the 1811–1812 New Madrid earthquakes altered the course of the Mississippi River. Cayce's prediction suggests that this kind of change could happen on a larger scale in the future, reshaping inland water systems. Cayce's readings also warned of rising sea levels that would submerge coastal cities and regions worldwide. Although his descriptions lacked modern scientific terminology, he suggested that these floods would result from a combination of natural forces, including polar shifts, climate fluctuations, and perhaps melting ice caps. Cayce believed that as the Earth's crust realigned or shifted, ocean levels would rise, putting coastlines and major cities at risk. Today, the concept of rising sea levels is widely accepted by scientists as a result of global warming. The melting of polar ice and glaciers is increasing the volume of water in the oceans, leading to the gradual encroachment of water on low-lying coastal areas. This modern understanding aligns closely with Cayce's predictions about coastal flooding, especially concerning cities like New York, Miami, and New Orleans, which are already experiencing the early effects of sea level rise. Among Cayce's most dramatic predictions is the claim that some of the most prominent cities in the United States, including New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, would one day be uninhabitable or disappear entirely. He hinted that natural disasters such as earthquakes, rising sea levels, and floods would lead to the downfall of these urban centers. New York City, positioned on the East Coast, is vulnerable to rising sea levels and hurricanes, while San Francisco and Los Angeles face the constant threat of seismic activity along fault lines. Although Cayce didn't specify dates, his vision of cities being gone due to such events served as a wake-up call to the fragility of modern urban life and the potential for these disasters to bring about widespread change. In some of his readings, Cayce predicted that the Earth's magnetic poles would shift, a phenomenon known as a pole shift. Though he didn't go into scientific specifics, he implied that this pole shift would affect the planet's climate and weather patterns. Today, the idea of a pole shift is widely recognized within geological science. Though it is understood as a slow, gradual process, it can result in climate disruptions and potentially influence tectonic activity. Cayce's interpretation of pole shifts aligns with the modern scientific understanding of magnetic pole movement, which can indeed affect ecosystems and weather systems, especially if these shifts are abrupt or extreme. The gradual movement of the magnetic poles we see today, while subtle, has led some scientists to suggest that Cayce's predictions could be viewed metaphorically, pointing to long-term shifts rather than abrupt catastrophe. For Cayce, these Earth changes were not merely physical events. They were a form of spiritual warning or cleansing. He suggested that humanity's actions, particularly those that harmed the environment or deviated from spiritual principles, could manifest in the form of natural disasters. Cayce emphasized that these cataclysms were part of a divine plan intended to bring humanity back into harmony with natural laws and spiritual values. He believed these upheavals would serve as a wake-up call for people to re-evaluate their relationship with the earth and each other. Cayce's interpretation ties into the concept of karma and collective responsibility. He viewed Earth changes as both an opportunity and a warning, that individuals and societies could mitigate these events through spiritual growth, compassion, and greater environmental stewardship. His message highlighted that by working towards a more unified, ethical way of living, humanity could soften the severity of these changes. Despite the grim details in his prophecies, Cayce also held an optimistic view of the future. He saw the period following these Earth changes as one of renewal and enlightenment. Cayce predicted that humanity would emerge from these trials with a new understanding of spirituality, unity, and compassion, marking the start of a golden age for humankind. This age, he suggested, would involve the rediscovery of ancient wisdom, the development of technologies aligned with natural laws, and a deeper sense of global interconnectedness. Cayce's vision of a new era implies that humanity's spiritual evolution is closely linked to its survival. According to Cayce, those who embrace compassion, unity, and environmental responsibility will be better prepared for the trials ahead and will help usher in a period of peace and prosperity after the upheavals. He saw this era as one where humanity would reconnect with ancient knowledge, possibly from lost civilizations like Atlantis, which he believed would re-emerge, allowing humans to rediscover insights that could foster balance and harmony. Cayce's predictions about Earth changes have inspired widespread fascination and debate. While some view his readings as allegorical, warning of the need for spiritual growth, others see them as literal forecasts of geological events. The scientific basis for many of Cayce's warnings, such as earthquakes, rising sea levels, and pole shifts, adds a layer of credibility to his visions. As climate change and seismic risks become more evident, some interpret his prophecies as a call to prepare for and adapt to a changing world. For many, Cayce's predictions are a reminder that humanity is part of a larger system that demands balance and respect. By aligning with spiritual values, such as kindness, humility, and reverence for nature, individuals can contribute to a collective transformation. Cayce's emphasis on personal and societal responsibility underscores the idea that we are not merely at the mercy of the Earth's forces, but play an active role in shaping our destiny. In summary, Edgar Cayce's prophecies about Earth changes portray a period of profound upheaval and renewal. While he foresaw dramatic changes to the planet's physical landscape, he also envisioned a corresponding spiritual awakening that would redefine humanity's values and purpose. For Cayce, these events are both a test and an opportunity for humanity to realign with higher principles, paving the way for a new era of peace, harmony, and spiritual growth. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the fascinating prophecies of Edgar Cayce. As we reflect on these visions of transformation, let us remember that Cayce's messages weren't just predictions, they were calls for hope, compassion, and personal responsibility. His insights remind us that the future is shaped not only by the forces of nature, but by the choices we make each day. Whether we're inspired, cautious, or simply curious, there's wisdom to be found in seeking a deeper connection to our world and to one another. Stay tuned for more explorations into the mysteries of our world. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, let's keep seeking, learning, and growing together.